the next level, take it to the next level, take it to the next level, take it to the next level, 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 level,
Hello, guys. Welcome back. We are already here in the finals.
Yeah, it's been a long tournament, and I'm excited to see what the teams can do in this final game, and it's gonna be very exciting one.
Yeah, it's Ace Phoenix against the Phoenix Ascension. I mean, Phoenix Ascension uh, was quite a strong team in the semi-finals, and more to. I mean, the second game was more of a throw by the Radiants and not really, but they did capitalize on all the mistakes that was made by the Radiants, and they did deserve the victory, and 2-0 as well. Like, what do you think? How do you think the game is going to progress?
Yeah, like you said, it might be seen as a throw by the Radiants, but you have to take that chance. And some people like to say, like especially in Pro League of Legends, oh, this XYZ team didn't actually win, ABC team lost. I think that's a very wrong sentiment to have in a game like this. Because when you're in a lead like that, it's up to you to close out the game and not to make any mistakes. So if you are making the mistakes, then well, obviously the other team won't just let you get away with it, and that's how competitive tournaments work. And I think it's a bit insulting to the winning team to say that, oh, it wasn't their victory, they didn't earn it. I think that's a bit insulting. So whether you're a fan or a player, I think it's always good to accept the losses, learn from them, and move on. And a big congratulations to the teams that did make it all the way to the finals now and are just gonna compete to see who's the best in this tournament.
Yeah, exactly. I can't wait to see what is in store. We did not get, I mean, we did not get that much of action from semis. I mean, it was a bit anticlimactic. I was hoping it would go 3-1, like how it went the first match of semifinals. But then again, like you said, it was a really, I mean, PNX being a very good team, they did capitalize on all the mistakes that were made by their opponents. And I'd be excited to see who is going to get the Zaya and Rakan pick, because you very well know how much favored Zaya and Rakan is by the Ace Phoenix as well. So
Yeah, and it seems like a very good blind pick bot lane. You can pick it 1-2 if you want to as an answer on the red side, and on the blue side you can pick it 2-3 if it's left open. So that's gonna be pretty high priority as well. There's also, you can't ignore the mid lane ever, because there's Envy playing, and so you have to make sure that he doesn't get his comfort picks, that you can actually counter him with something. We saw his versatility in the semifinals. We saw him play the Pantheon mid lane. Then he pulled out the support Karma. So it's gonna be very exciting to see how the drafting goes.
yeah, let's just quickly jump into the drafts here and
And
immediately
yeah, there
banned.
we go. The mid bans are coming through. The Malzahar ban. Malzahar, it's one of my favorite solo queue champions because all you do is press E, press W, relax, and you scale so well. And team fights, he's so oppressive. And respect ban coming out for Envy's mid lane as the Pantheon gets taken out by Phoenix Ascension.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a battle of the mid lanes here. And look at that. Right as we said, who's gonna get Zaya Rakan? Zaya banned.
Yeah, by banning Zaya, you're effectively banning two champions because you don't really see Rakans outside paired with Zaya. Same way,
Mhm.
if you ban like Nami, you can pretty much guarantee that they're not gonna play Lucian because Lucian Nami combo. That's why you play it. So that's a very smart ban there. Just take it out. They are blue side, like I said. Blue side gets first pick, but then 1-2 immediately onto red side. So that's a Zyra Khan spot right there. So that's a very, very smart ban. And we're seeing respect shown to the bot lane as well, as another ADC ban comes out from Ace Phoenix. The Jinx gets taken out.
The bans have been mostly targeted towards the mid and bot, which puts me in the question, like, are they gonna go for a ADC pick here? Yeah, they are.
Yeah, like very good call out, Hikari. They going for the blind pick ADC. Zeri has been a strong ADC pick for quite a few patches now. Went through a lot of changes, but still really, really solid. So I quite like this pick.
So maybe, but they don't get to have the Lulu, I guess. The immediately it might be picked away, maybe
Yeah, maybe
potential.
potentially, but we saw Milio come out as well, so Milio is another option.
Uh, Milo did not really have that much of a success, or probably did not get the kind of lead that he wanted to in the lane, because mostly that game was run by the top side of the map, top and
Yeah,
mid side of the map.
one
So,
minute completely dominates. Then we see
oh,
Aphelios. Will we see a Thresh paired with it? That's the classic pairing with Aphelios. That Lantern becomes so useful to an immobile carry to just reposition. Plus, we all know how versatile Thresh is. Can be an engage champion, can disengage, can reposition. Nope. A Braum comes out. Same concept. You want to protect your Aphelios hard carry. And Braum with his shield can be really annoying and really hard to deal with.
yeah, and they somehow decided to let Lulu pick go, so they are gonna double down on a very strong bot lane here. Zeri and Lulu is always a reliable sort of carry in the bot, and Enchanter to protect her as well.
Yeah. Lulu comes in, we see a tank bot lane with against an enchanter bot. It'll be interesting to see who takes the initiative in the bot side to kind of get things started, be the aggressor. Because whoever gets ahead can actually control the game pretty much. If Azeri is ahead, she's gonna take over. If an Aphelios is ahead, it's pretty much GG as well.
Is it gonna be a Jarvan, maybe a Gangplank thrown in? Do you know if Origa is a Gangplank player? Because, like, as soon as I see the Jarvan, I think they could potentially go in for that wombo combo with the Jarvan
Yeah, with
ultimate.
the
And
Jalvan and the GPR, that's potentially something that we might see. Although Gangplank doesn't really have that high of a priority, that's a very interesting pick there. Seraphine
yeah,
mid lane, it's actually really strong if you can get a Rylai's early. You can have a lot of roots, stuns, long range engage, but it's something that we don't see as often, Seraphine in the mid lane. So very excited to see what that's going to do. Now we go into the second round of bans, and on the other side, Ace Phoenix has yet to pick their mid lane. So I expect to see some mid lane bans coming through. Right as I say that, Silas gets taken away, and from Ace Phoenix side, they're probably gonna start banning top laners. Camille gets taken out. I think they might ban a Mordekaiser.
Malphite or the okay, Mordekaiser sounds like a good plan to ban. And I mean, jungle also is quietly like, vastly left open here. There's Graves open, and there's like Zinzao, so many other champs that they could pick up in
Jungle
the jungle as
hasn't
well.
really been touched by either teams, and that's gonna be an interesting way. Yeah, interesting to see what they go for with so many champs open. You always want to get the best value that you can from the jungle side, and maybe either a hard carry or an engaged champion. It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, it is. And it is quite okay. They decide to go for the Akali, rightfully so, because Akali was a very much threatening champion in game number one of semis when their top laner was on it, and he basically just won the entire game for his team.
Yeah, and Akali, if Akali gets ahead, it's so impossible to stop with all her dash, the shroud, and everything. So that's a good ban. Hecarim gets picked up, and which leaves the last two picks for Ace Phoenix to come up with a mid and jungle.
Mid and top, I
Mid and
think.
top, assuming the Jarvan goes
Yeah,
jungle.
assuming so. Okay, a
Uh,
Sion.
Sion pick comes through, and obviously frontline, and It's just something reliable that you can pick up in the top side, no?
Yeah, especially when you're going in blind with absolutely no idea what you're going to be facing. It's sort of a standard pick and an RE as well.
Yeah,
To
we have her coming through, and Envy's RE is like I said with Envy, there's no real point in trying to ban out his mid lane champ pool. He can play so many champions proficiently. So he's always going to have something that he can play. And Ahri gets taken, and that's a pretty standard team comp from Ace Phoenix's side. No surprises there. Absolute basic, absolute front to back. The most standard league team comp you can have.
and is Jax gonna come in? Yes.
Oh, Jax makes an appearance into Sion.
I mean, I don't know how this lane generally progresses, but I'm guessing as soon as Jax gets an item, Sion's gonna be in quite a bit of a threat.
So what it depends on is if Jax can actually get a lead in the early laning phase.
Mhm.
If he can, then like with the set matchup that we saw, if he gets Bork early on, gets a few items under his belt, that's when Sion struggles. But on the other side, if Sion can stay even, or if with a good gank from Jarvan, they have a lot of CC with the Sion slow, Sion knock up, Jarvan knock up, Jarvan slow, and all of that. If the Scion can get a kill and he starts stacking armor before Jax can get his items, then it just becomes completely unplayable for the Jax. So that's another thing that needs to be kept into consideration.
Yeah, exactly. Like you said, it's gonna be how the junglers are gonna play around their teammates as well. And speaking of, uh, I don't know why they did go in for the Seraphine pick once again in this match, because that really didn't work in their favor in the last game.
Well,
So
maybe they think it wasn't the pick's fault. Maybe they are aware the strengths of the pick, and they just thought that maybe they made some macro mistakes or a few errors here and there, but they can still make it work. Here with the Seraphine, it's gonna be really good because if the Seraphine ult can extend through with your Hecarim, it can hit the entire enemy team. You can back up your Aphelios as well, depending on what build she goes for, the more supportive one or the more damage oriented build. So that's gonna be something. So let us know which draft you guys prefer. So personally, I kind of like Ace Phoenix's draft quite a bit because it's more standard, it's easier to play,
mhm.
and there's less mistakes that can happen. Because it
Yeah,
doesn't matter if the Scion like dies once or twice, right? It's a Scion. But the Jax falling behind, then the Jax becomes useless.
yeah, pretty much. And also, I'm kind of hoping for a level one cheese play, maybe. Like it did work out for them in that game three in semifinals. So
Yeah, the Scion is really strong with the level 1 because even if you die, you have your passive to keep fighting.
yeah, that's a very, very strong passive, especially when in level one there's no items or any really solid escape route out of it. But I think they would have watched the previous games, and Ascension would not make the mistake that Revenants made yesterday, and probably like guard their entrances and then just like play a safe game early on.
Yeah, like the Seraphine and Braum are gonna have a very important job to make sure they land their CC and disruption properly with good timing. Because if they don't, if a Jarvan Ari Scion is diving onto your backline and the Braum misses ultimate or puts the shield up at the wrong time or Seraphine doesn't land her root, then it's pretty much a dead Aphelios. And Aphelios being immobile with no thresh, and if he has flash down for some reason, then is just a sitting duck to get picked off.
Yeah, and I feel that Hecarim, that's where Hecarim kind of comes in. Probably he could peel if everything else fails. He could just ult and peel for his Philios. And Jax pretty much just wants to go get a flank for his team. Probably try to get them off guard. But I am, like you said, it is a very immobile comp. Like your main carries are quite, doesn't have that much of an escape compared to a Zeri on an Ari who can easily dash away. Or they have so much in their kit to
Mhm.
just like escape from any kind of threatening engages. So it will be interesting to see how the Aphelios is going to be played. Especially as you said, he was not picked along with the Thresh, and he just goes in with the Braum.
Yeah, so we already saw that Ace Phoenix in the semifinals, if you remember, with the Ornn Pantheon, that they're not afraid to like dive bomb you, death ball comp you. So it's gonna be pretty interesting to see how if they manage to do something similar here with the Scion ult and the Ari ulting in. And yeah, if we'll take if we take a look at the drafts overall, I think it's pretty even. What do you think, Hikari?
Yeah, on paper it looks perfect. Like they did not go for anything out of the box. This is very pretty standard lanes. Probably, I don't know, a Seraphine instead of a Seraphine, maybe a more TPS oriented mage in the mid lane would have been even more uh, profitable. But overall, I think, yeah, they are evenly matched. Nothing new to see here. It all depends on how they're gonna play it out.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see what build Seraphine goes for, the more
Hmm.
support oriented or the damage side of it.
Oh
And
yeah.
it's gonna be very important that she avoids Ari's burst and all in, because if Ari manages to do that, then well, Seraphine is very squishy if she doesn't land her root and everything.
Yeah, we are waiting for the game to load in. A little bit of a spectator issue going on is getting that fixed, and as soon as that's done, I think we it's safe to say we can expect some level ones at least from the side of Phoenix.
Yeah, they've been doing that the entire semifinal, so most likely they'll keep doing that, and it'll be something that I think Ascension will be ready of, because they've already seen Phoenix try it a bunch of times, so it'll be interesting to see what they go for.
Okay, and seems like we do have a little bit of a pause. Let me just take you into the game, and there we have it. Like as soon
Yeah,
as we get in, we just paused. Okay,
that's a bit of a traditional thing. I think we should all do that, even if we don't have any issues. Just pause the game for a few
just to
seconds.
make sure, right, if everything is fine.
All right, let's see the level one and how that goes on. Oh, the pause unpause usually has a bit of a
Yeah,
spectator bug, so let's hope that gets fixed up.
and I think they did pause it one more time because it's been a little bit of a lag from my end. It is.
So let's see if we can get into game and see any level one shenanigans happening. If they invade or not, or they just go for the classic, just defending their entrances. It doesn't seem like Phoenix is invading. They seem to be spreading out into the
I
bottom
think
side of
Seraphine forgot her item. So she's just going back to get it.
the. Yeah, there you go. Oh, never mind. I stand corrected. Phoenix actually they are
Yeah, it
going
did
for.
work out for them, right? Why not do it again?
Yeah,
On the off chance.
they're gonna try. It seems, or maybe they're just protecting their own entrance. A bit of a
Yeah.
delayed invade, maybe, or just protecting this tribe rush.
Yeah, they, I think PNX have done their due diligence and just at least scouted what happened in the semis. Let's just, they know that this potential of Cyan turning up in the bot side bush is quite, and he did cancel his teleport. Oh no no, sorry, he did back. My bad.
Yeah, no. I think they were just protecting the tribals. This might have been an opportunity for PLX to try and look for an invade topside, but of course they weren't aware
Yeah,
what
they were
Phoenix were
expecting
trying
that
to do.
this team with the Cyan is quite deadly. Let's just not check this bush. Let's just play it safe.
I think that they made the right decision, in my opinion, and nothing we
Aphelios
see.
does need some time to get into the
Yeah,
items and do some damage. So
yeah, 2 3 items after that, Aphelios becomes very dangerous, but before that, not. She's fine, but it's not the most highest DPS champion.
standard starts for both of the jungle, Jarvan on his red and Hikaram on his blue. And
Yeah,
it's
so
interesting to see both of them started on the same side of the jungle. So they will probably have the potential of meeting up top. And Jax is already bullying Cyan out of the lane.
yeah, when you play tanks, that's kind of a reality in the early game. Nothing much you can do about it. You just kind of have to take it and let them push it into you. But Sion can trade back quite a bit with his Q, that range after Jax has used up most of his cooldowns. We see Lulu actually backed or
Some
wasn't in
reason.
lane. Yeah, it was probably helping out the Jarvan. My apologies, I did not keep a track on that. uh, kept the Zeri in lane alone for a little bit, so she got the level 2, but her support is still level 1, so not really an advantage she can press.
But they're quite safe. That's almost pushed quite close to the turret, so they can just catch up on the wave. And immediately you can see Brom just roaming up and warding that bush area, just making sure that Jarvan is not up to any shenanigans.
Yeah, started side, so not really in danger of a gank now. Of course, they don't know that, so it's better to be safe. They haven't really seen it. Either side hasn't seen the opponent team's jungler, so none of them really know where each side started.
I think Jax might spot out the Jarvan right
Yeah,
here.
Jack sees the Jarvan in the minimap. I don't think Jarvan wants to fight this. No, he just wants to Jax to get out of his jungle so that he can
It's
clear
just
scams
being
in.
an absolute nuisance here. It's
Yeah.
just got some free gold on
We
the.
might see a 2v2. Hecarim did come over, and there's an Ari roaming in because Ari managed to get the early push, and that drives the Jax away from this side of the jungle and back to his own quadrant, and Hecarim didn't seem too interested in a fight either.
Yes. But like, look at. Oh, they
Never
meet in the
mind.
jungle.
Yeah, Broken Blade trying to secure Scuttle Crab, but Sion doesn't have priority, so Jax will be here first. Envy is here, lands the charm, means Jarvan gets away from the stun. Now Jax running away, Seraphine is here now, Jax EQs out, but Jax is chasing after him. Jarvan is the first to fall, first blood to Seraphine. Sion trying to do his best to peel for his mid laner. Envy has to flash over the wall, but Hecarim is still chasing. Sion is most likely to fall. Two quick kills for Phoenix in the on. Actually, Envy also falls. The early game disaster here for Ace Phoenix as 3 kills go over to Phoenix Ascension.
Yeah, it's a bit perplexing when you know that the Jax had priority up top, and when you know that the jungler was around, you did not have to compete for the scuttle crab. Honestly, once your EQ is down, you're in threat of being killed. Like, and even though your Ari came to bail you out, Seraphine
Yeah,
was quick to follow, and then there's quick 3 kills mounted on the side of PNX as well. And
Jarvan once again found getting the opposite skull crab. Ari is here once again to try and see if she can provide some disruption. Lands the charm. The 3 people are here. I think Phoenix has to get out of the way, and that's they do. And Hikari, I'm just gonna ask you to turn on objective timer for our viewers so that they can be well informed when Drakes and things will be coming up. Thank you so much. And yeah, it's a bit perplexing because Ari got the first rotate, manages to land the charm to make sure his jungler doesn't get stunned. But then the fight extends too much, right? They take too much time to get a pick, aren't decisive enough, which gives Seraphine the chance to roam back, and then the whole play just falls apart.
already a level down, so being completely bullied out of his lane, can't
Yeah,
get
but
anything done.
especially with that lethal tempo, he can't trade back properly. He just has to kind of go back, and the Jax will try to hold on to the freeze if he can as long as possible. And even in the bot side, you see Braum trying to get aggressive, stack off his passive, but it takes a chunk as well, so pretty equal trade. He's actually just trying to bait because his Hecarim is here, so he's gonna try to make himself look as vulnerable as possible so that Ace Phoenix overextend, but
Let's
they
have
don't
a
take
look
that
at
bait.
the gold lead up top. Oh my god. It's already a 1k gold lead for the Jax. It's just 6 minutes in game. It's gonna be a rough laning phase for the Sion.
Yeah, and you don't want the Jax to get ahead because he's a late game threat, and if he gets that acceleration early, then that's gonna be difficult to deal with.
Indeed, and you can see how much of minions he's been being denied, and it's not just gold, right? It's also your
XP.
XP that's being denied, and you can see there's 1 level difference between the top laners.
Oh,
Hanging
Jax
for
on a very weird timing. I think Sion can hold a freeze if we had panned to top side. I'm not sure how many minions were there, but Sion I think can catch up on a bit of XP now if he manages to push it in time. Doesn't seem like it. Jax will be able there to catch the wave.
he's still under level, he's still not level 6, and this could potentially mean maybe a gank up top. I mean, you don't have your unstoppable onslaught to run away from any of the ganks at this point, so
Usually it's not a good idea to gank the tank because he's a tank, he's gonna be useful, but especially if you have a Jax, you want him to get ahead, have that side lane pressure, have that threat that a Jax can have. He can solo win you games if he's like good enough as a carry and gets enough gold injected into him. But right now, Phoenix seems to have slowed down the game pace quite a bit, and that's exactly what they should be doing at this situation where when that early game skirmish went so bad for them.
Yeah, they did stop the bleeding a little bit, but top lane is hemorrhaging. I feel very
Yeah.
bad for the Sai, and he's just not even able to walk up to just collect the XP from the minions.
Yeah, that's what happens. But Braum a little bit out of position. Hecarim is here. He's forced to flash. Takes the blast cone away. Jarvan not being able to connect EQ. Envy goes deep in there, and there's the Seraphine ultimate that comes out. Jarvan trying to finish the kill onto the Hecarim. Flashes forward, gets it down. Exhaust onto the Zeri. They're trying to get onto the Aphelios, but Aphelios with so many chakrams manages to stack the Braum passive and takes down Ari. And now Zeri also gets stunned. That's the power of the Braum. In an extended fight, you can get so many stuns off. On the other side, Jarvan Broken Blade is getting chased away by the Seraphine. He's getting collapsed on by Aphelios on the other side. I think he's going to fall. Yeah, tries to EQ away. He might
Sad.
not. There's a Jax here. He's just dead now.
That was a quick 3 kills picked up, but surprisingly, the skirmish was entirely started from the side of Phoenix.
Again, they started that skirmish on the top side as well.
Yeah, it's
I
just it's
think
not working out for them.
there was way too much committed to try and get that Hecarim kill where Jarvan chased so far in, expended his flash to try and get the kill. I think once they turned on him, like when the Jarvan ulted, Ari went in and he was 1 HP, I think you just take that victory. You take that victory, you either prepare for the Drake or fight their bot lane without their jungler here, but they overextended the fight and got punished.
Yeah. And unfortunate for them, the timing on the Aphelios gun was just perfect. He had the red and white guns, and he was just like a mini machine gun firing at them.
Yeah, with Aphelios, you gotta remember red and white don't fight.
Yep.
So, and he had that Braum with him, so he was just like getting so many stuns off so quickly because of his white gun. So, he's just a disaster for Ace Phoenix
And
here.
he has a double buff. Okay, it's gonna be a little bit rough in bot lane, but I think Invoker has is like quite happy that at least he's getting pushed under the turret and he doesn't have to worry about any kind of dives, at least for now.
Hecarim tried to lane gank twice now, but it was too close to opponent tower to make anything work there. But this will mean a free Drake for them. There's no real way that Ace Phoenix can contest this. They drop a ward to ensure that this is happening, and I don't think it's a good idea to
Oh,
contest.
look at
this
up
first
top.
go.
He's trying to get the herald, but Jax is already there. Oh
Yeah,
my
map
god.
control is not in Phoenix's hands, and Jax does so much damage. Jarvan just falls, and
And
Sam
his
whiffs. Envy lands Charm though, but I don't think they have the damage, and he's just gonna leap strike out the way. And yeah, that's another victory for Phoenix Ascension in these skirmishes. Ace Phoenix just getting outplayed.
yeah, I think the PNX have an amazing team communication, because as soon as they was like, okay guys, these guys are gonna give up the Drake, and we would want you to go check if the herald is being taken, and yeah, Jax was right there on the perfect timing to go and check the herald, and that just got him a kill.
Yeah, and Jax is so ahead. The bot lane is really ahead. It's gonna be very difficult for Phoenix to make a comeback in this game, or to try and do something to make sure that they don't get completely run over. I don't know if they can slow down the game. They tried doing that in the first period and it was working out, and then it's just really sad because they made the plays, they were proactive, but the plays just did not work out in their favor.
Yeah, and these are the kind of champions that you do not want to give the leads to. I mean, even if it were a Seraphine or even a Hecarim, maybe you could have gotten away with it. But a Jackson and a Phelios, who are predominantly a late game threat, is already now fed.
Yeah, you don't want these late game carries to get accelerated and have their items before they're supposed to. So let's see what Phoenix can do, or if they can manage to get something done.
And I do not like the build of Jarvan also. Like, as soon as you saw that you lost the first bit of an exchange, you should have deviated your build towards probably going tanky peel for your Zeri maybe, but he decides to go for the whip, which I think he will build it into a gold drinker, and he also has a warhammer. Oh, we are in game now.
Yeah, probably. Maybe, but Jarvan doesn't really have any builds outside the Gold Drinker build. Maybe you can go lethality, but obviously in this game, no. So let's see. What he's probably gonna go Gold Drinker into full tank, honestly.
I do think I have the spectator bug every time. All right, we back online.
Yeah, the spectator bug is not something we can control. That's kind of a riot thing.
Yeah, right. Lily has to fix clients.
Sion trying to get as much CS and EXP as he can in this lane. It's gonna be very, very difficult no matter how he tries to do it. And Hydra just has complete authority on the top side. And I don't think there's anyone on Ace Phoenix that can challenge him right now or in the near future, honestly.
And look at that, Aphelios is almost close to completing his skull. Maybe this wave will just give him another easy gold. Oh,
Sion steps up, and that's a mistake. Hecarim is here. I don't think Sion can get away from this. He has to use his ultimate, but it's on cooldown. But he actually just manages to walk away. And that should show you how strong Sion is, even being so far behind, manages to escape that gank.
yeah, exactly. Like, this is one of those scenarios wherein, like, you're too far ahead that you can't really do anything, right? It's just like you're stuck. You can't push him under the tower. You can't try to dive him and get the kill. Because end of the day, it's a Cyan, and the zombie passive is just absolutely too scary. And even in the bot side, even though you are so far ahead, unless and otherwise opponents are kind of got out of positions, you really have no play to be made.
They're trying the bush tactic because they want to push this lead. There we go. Braum ultimate comes down onto the Zeri. Zeri trying to get away, gets Braum stunned as well. Lulu ultimate keeping him alive. Exhaust comes down. I think they might be able to get away, but Lulu gets stunned now. Lulu's probably going to fall. Uses his flash to get away. Look at how many chakrams he has, red and white. Jarvan
Don't do this,
decides
don't do
to
this.
go in. Jarvan is trying to make sure that Ari can get here in time. Envy manages to make his way into the fight. Hecarim tries to go in on him. Envy misses Charm, and 4v4, I don't think Ace Phoenix wants this. And yeah, they back off. No one dies, even though so many buttons were pressed, so many ultimates and summoner spells.
Yeah, like you got Bronze ultimate and a Philios ultimate, I believe. You should have been happy by the time, like, you decide that the Lulu is still alive, even though Aphelios, mind you, had red and white guns.
Yes,
And your
but
Lulu was still alive, so it was a win for you. I did not understand why Broken Blade decided to go right there and okay, this could be a mistake. Or
it's
nah.
fine. He's fine, it's fine. Broken
He's
Blade
just-
probably thought with Envy coming in is gonna be a 4v2, we can try something.
Oh,
There
this
we go, Jarvan trying to save his top laner, but it's a Sion who has passive. I think they're gonna get it. Yes, there we go, a shutdown goes through to the
it's in the
Jarvan.
Jarvan.
Yeah, better Jarvan than Sion, I guess, but
I could have really used that shutdown.
I guess so, but they're both gonna be tanks in this game, so I don't think it really matters who it goes to. And the first play that works out for Ace Phoenix, and it's really something that they need to keep building on top of if they want to get back into this game. They're 4.5 thousand gold behind, and they need to keep making this good
There was,
proactive decision making.
Herald used in mid lane.
Yeah,
Was it timing out?
probably, and it's a herald that the Jarvan died for, so he probably wants to get some value out of this. But we can see Hecarim waiting to see if Ace Phoenix overextend. This is an opportunity. Braum now wrapping around. Hecarim is also here. I don't think Envy realizes. He uses his ultimate to try and get away, but Jarvan EQs out, and they're all okay. Actually, Jax goes in. This might be a bit of an overextend. Seraphine lands onto 2, and they completely dive bomb him, using all of their ultimates to try and close the gap. Sion can't protect them from everyone, and that's one kill. And that's what I was talking about, that long-range Seraphine ultimate that can hit the backline from anywhere. And they get a kill out of this.
Yeah, that was back and forth. Like, I thought everybody in Ace Phoenix got out, but then the ultimate comes in, and then Zeri was completely deleted. And Science Q was also very nicely interrupted by the Hecarim ultimate so that their Jax doesn't get stunned.
Yeah, you can see there that there's so many spells that can fly at you if you're Ace Phoenix, and if one of those CC abilities lands, you're going to die. They need to play out these fights pretty much perfectly, and I think it's lucky that only one person died there. There
Yeah,
was a
that was
chance that,
very.
yeah, very close to being a disaster again. But they managed to stop that, and I think this is going to be another Drake for PRX Ascension.
And they have absolutely no vision down here, and it's the Jax side of the map, so you can't mess around here. So they're just
Yeah,
gonna concede.
I would have liked to see Ace Phoenix make a play on the top side, cross map this, but they're not in position to do any of that. The Seraphim's actually just alone top side instead of like standing around the Drake pit because you know it's gone. There's no way you're gonna contest it. Might as well make a play top side.
Yeah, I like the way they switched out the bot and the mid lanes before they even took the any turrets. So it was a wise decision coming in from PNX Ascension.
Yeah, you want your strongest laners to have the best possible chance, and mid lane is pretty safe for the bot duo right now to just keep picking up
And
farm.
for some reason, Zeri is laning against Jax. I do not like this at all.
Well, it's because Zeri can get away from the Jax pretty easily if he has the Lulu around. So Jax gets farm, Zeri gets farm. It's a pretty decent scenario for both teams, I would say.
And look at the farm discrepancy in the top side. Almost for a 30, 35, right? It's just
Yeah.
like
Well, if you're a
one item
tank,
to
you're expected to fall behind in farm a little bit, but not this much. This was due
and
to that.
2k gold,
Yeah,
1.4k to be exact.
this is due to that early gameplay that did not work out for Ace Phoenix. So
And look at the AD carry also on the other end, 7k gold to 5.5k.
5.5. Yeah, they're gonna need to start picking up these shutdowns somehow and get their carries on even footing so that they can actually take these fights that they want to.
And
But currently, sorry, Hikari, go ahead.
I like how Aphelios just went right in for the Bloodcaster.
Yeah, you don't want to get taken down, right? You have a 400 gold bounty. You just want to be safe, and Bloodthirster Overheal is very, very strong right now. I expect we'll see a Shield Bow coming in next.
There's a
Or
lot of
Gale Force.
there's a lot of defensive tools to burn through to get the
Yeah,
Aphelios.
there's also that Seraphine ultimate, the Braum is there. And like you said, if all else fails, Hecarim can also ult to try and make some space for his AD carry. So let's see. The game has slowed down a little bit, which I think Ace Phoenix would not mind, as things are getting out of hand. Teams
Yeah,
are
but
just farming up now.
yeah, it is because they just want to get up to their one or two items and then probably try and get a good flank from the Ari, catch your Aphelios off guard, maybe catch your Seraphine off guard, anything, right? They can't approach this fight front to back at all because they don't have really any substantial tank also at this point to play it front to back. Like their Sion has one item, then Jax is gonna melt through him.
Yeah, and Hydra doing a really good job making sure his lead is extended. And I'd be curious to see if the jungle goal discrepancy is as high as the other ones. Mm, if we can get that up. Well, thank you so much. No, the jungle
Not
is pretty even. Actually, Jarvan is ahead right now. But otherwise, that's the only, I guess, sort of bright spot for Ace Phoenix. Everything else is kind of falling apart. But I
yeah.
think they're gonna be able to take this mid turret now, with the herald being thrown down. There's a TP as well
He
to make
is taking
sure.
a lot of damage.
There we go. Hecarim's on the flank. So is the Jax. Sion actually goes in. Ace Phoenix wants to take this fight. I'm not so sure about this. Envy is just in a sandwich right now. There we go. The Jax goes after him, gets the kill down. But another kill goes forward. Aphelios gets shut down, but it's by the Sion. Sion frontlining for his team bravely, even though he was put so far behind. They're trying to get this kill. Braum just one shot away. Zeri just can't finish him off. And that's actually a very, very good team fight from Ace Phoenix. It was a 1-for-1 as far as I believe. And yeah,
Yeah,
and it was Envy who fell, but on the other side it's the Aphelios who fell. That's more important. But unfortunately, just the worst person the shutdown could have gone to, it went to the Scion of all people.
yeah,
But
you never know.
At this
You
point,
never
if
know.
you're
You
Ace
take it.
Phoenix, yeah, you take it. That's a victory right there. They got mid tower. They got a 1-for-1 fight, and if you're this far behind, a 1-for-1 is a victory in itself.
Exactly. And I thought it was gonna go extremely bad for Ace Phoenix a moment there because, like you said, Ophelia was red and white, and he was fully charged. Chakram running at them. I think he probably stepped a little bit too forward.
Envy receiving a lot of ganks and attention, but manages to get away. Actually, chasing after them now. I don't know if he realizes that the entirety of Phoenix Ascension is collapsing on the bot side. To be fair, Ace Phoenix is also here. I think the fight went decently for. Nah, I'm gonna hold that in case a fight breaks out.
I think it is
No,
gonna be because the Drake is up soon.
I wouldn't contest this as Ace Phoenix. Honestly, I would even let this one go and fight for the last Drake to try and
But
get
it
as
is
much
a
gold.
hex tech, right? It takes quite a while to take the Drake down, maybe. And they did burn out a couple of ultimates.
Sion just charges in there, but gets to the Braum. Braum taking a whole bunch of damage. The Seraphine ult comes through, but the Jax is onto the backline. One kill down for Phoenix, but there we go. Answered right back. Jarvan ults to make sure to fight for his team. Uses the Go Trigger to great effect, but Hecarim does not go down. The Sion goes down now. The Jax is in the backline, just absolutely devastating the Sion. Brings a lot of space for his team to make sure the Aphelios is out of the fight. That was so unfortunate. Again, Ace Phoenix are getting so close in this fight, but every time Phoenix Ascension just gets away with it. You could see in that fight, Jarvan tried so hard to get that ultimate onto two people, Gore Drinker, and Hecarim was 1 HP, but he just manages to run out with a speed buff, and then the Jax on the backline just destroys them.
Yeah, that was a beautiful, beautiful flank by Hydra. Did not expect. I thought, okay, the Seraphine ultimate landed on them, but I think they were quite safe. But Jax over the wall coming in with the counter strike, stunning two of the main carries where they were forced to flash out of there. And even though Jarvan tried to ult and create some space with his Cataclysm, Zeri wasn't in the right position to follow up on it.
And so unfortunate that the Hecarim managed to survive, which made the fight even worse for them because they tried to chase a bit further in to try and see if they can get that kill. I wasn't a very big fan that Ace actually fought that and took that fight being so far behind. It wasn't the Drake Soul, but they still fought it. And again, the fight doesn't go in their favor. Hydra now on to Envy, but Envy is going to use the charm to make sure he doesn't get stunned. I think this is better lane assignment now. Envy just waits for Jax to
Not
kind
sure
of.
about the Philios to Sion.
Yeah, Sion's just gonna get run down if he walks up like that, and you can see that happening. Lethal Tempo fully stacked. Oh,
He's probably just gonna back up under his tower and concede a little bit of control on the top side of the jungle as well. But you can see that Jarvan is trying to shadow a little bit towards the bot side because he, at this point, you just give up where Sion is. Just hope that he gets some kind of a farm. Play for your ADC, play for your mid laner. That's where your actual potential to carry lies.
yeah, you want as much farm as possible on your carries because at this point you're going to be behind, so you're not gonna get the farm that you want. But on the other side, Phoenix Ascension has started off the Baron, and I don't know if Ace Phoenix can even approach this. I don't even
Yeah,
know if
that's
they
a
know
white
this is
gun, easy
happening.
Baron take.
I don't even think they know this is happening. Lulu was channeling recall. No one in the area to face check. Sion's going to check it now, but they're not anywhere close by for a contest or a steal, and I think this is just a free Baron.
Wow.
Yeah, completely free, nothing really. Ace Phoenix does not contest it, and I think that's fine at this point. You don't want to give up anymore.
That's just one empowered strike.
Yeah, well, that damage is absurd out of the Jax right now. Has 2 items complete. And we're trying his best to pick up as much gold and XP as he can. And now Baron powered minions will be barreling down on these lanes to try and get some siege going. Aphelios Seraphine is actually really good at sieging, so this is gonna be painful for Ace Phoenix to carry, especially clear out, especially the cannon minion. Because no one can really reach that. They actually go on to the Aphelios, but the charm misses from the Ari, and this is a complete disaster. They're gonna get absolutely wrecked here because their initial plan failed, and now they're just getting jumped on, and everybody dies on Ace Phoenix. That was their Hail Mary attempt to try and get to that Aphelios, The idea was there, but the execution just failed.
Yeah, and just 25 minutes in, there could probably be a end to the game number one.
Yeah, the idea was there. They're so far behind. They have to try something. So they went with the Jarvan Cataclysm to try and ensure the Ahri Charm lands, but even then it missed, and then the fight is just over for them. And this looks like game 25 minutes. PNX Ascension come out on top, and they're gonna end this game one right here, right now.
Yep, that was beautifully executed by PNX. They had the game plan down, and they knew kind of what they wanted, and they just went for it, I guess.
Yes, of course, and it's not like Ace Phoenix were passive by any means. They started off the fights, but it just seemed like Phoenix Ascension knew better what to do and how to navigate this fight. So let's see how they manage to come back to this and make this a series. And we're going to take a break right now as we get ready for game number 2.
Yes, we are.
Take it to the next level. 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 Level, 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 to the next level. Take it to the next.
Hi guys, welcome back. We are on game 2 of PNX Ascension versus Ace Phoenix, and PNX Ascension has taken the lead already.
So yeah, it will be interesting to see what sort of adaptations that Ace Phoenix make to try and make sure things like last game don't happen, where they made the plays, but the plays just went out of their favor, and they got outplayed in these small skirmishes that gave PNX such a lead. So let's
Yeah,
see what they're able to do, and we will try to bring you to draft as soon as we can.
there we have it. The surprising they haven't decided to switch sides and stick to their
Yeah. They're sticking to the blue side Ace Phoenix, and the first few bans are the same as last game. Gwen taken away and Malzahar taken away for Ace Phoenix. So let's see if what else is there. I would personally like to see the Aphelios taken off, and there we go. The same bans are coming through. Zaya gets taken away again. So
I don't think Ophelios was the problem. I think they thought since they got Zeri and Lulu, they were kind of a safe.
Spear would find
But
your back.
I was hoping to see Pantheon, but yeah, the respect ban does have to be made against Envy. Pantheon is also out of the table.
yeah, and I want to see more focus being thrown onto Hydra to make sure he can't just take over the game like last time. Maybe take out some of the carry top laners and force him on to a more tanky playstyle. But let's see what happens. The same bans are coming through, but there's the adaptation. Seraphine got taken away. That Seraphine completely clutched a lot of the team fights for PNX Ascension, so no surprises that got taken out.
Yeah, scary long range ultimate off the table, and Wukong as well. This time though, coming in from the Ascension side.
Yes, let's see what happens.
Jinx, and they
Uh,
traded for Zeri.
yeah, so they blinded the Jinx that gets answered with the Zeri on the other side. I think a Lulu or an Enchanter gets picked up now to pair with the Zeri. And Lulu is the best you can go for the
No,
Zeri comp.
I feel like Nihistastic is a little bit of an engage support, so I am hoping he'd go for something like Nautilus. Oh yeah,
There we
let's
go.
crack.
The Blitzcrank comes through. Very good call out there, Hikari. Good prediction. So let's see how Ace Phoenix decides to answer this Blitzcrank pick. Maybe they go back to that Tarek pick that they
Oh,
like.
I would love a Morgana.
Morgana's also
This-
really, really good. But into the Jinx, perhaps not the best synergy because with
Mhm.
Morgana, you want someone who can have a lot of burst and delete the person that you root. Brom is, however, yeah, Brom gets taken. Brom Jinx is a very, very old school traditional bot lane that's very safe, very scaling, and on Maokai gets picked up in the jungle side. And I'm expecting a top pick here for Hydra because he seems to be a player that should be able to just blind whatever he wants. Let's see what gets taken.
Now that the entire pool is open, maybe he would prefer it, or they might actually go in for a mid laner right on the third pick.
They do go for the mid lane, perhaps saving the counter pick for Hydra there, and now they can ban out the top side of the map and ensure that the Ace Phoenix top laner isn't in a very comfortable situation. Might force him onto like a Scion or an Ornn again. There we go, the ever present Mordekaiser priority. He gets banned away. And the
Hey, there
Camille
we-
ban as well. Maybe the Jax ban might come through this time. What do you think?
yeah, it was a point of it was the major issue, and now I don't know, maybe now that they have the Malphite open, I don't know, maybe you can give away the Jax. Oh,
Nope.
but they don't want to.
Jack gets banned away. So now I think they're gonna go for their jungle. Because we can see the enemy team has also already locked in Maokai, so you want the counter pick for your top laner. So let's see
Hmm.
what they go for.
Graves could be, oh,
Yeah,
Nocturne.
Nocturne. That is interesting. Nocturne ganks are one of the most effective things you can do in the game. Just power farm till 6 and then start ulting to affect the map anywhere. And now this gives Ace Phoenix the chance to kind of counterpick their mid lane because you can see Alessandra already picked up. So let's see what they go for. Galio being hovered, Galio gets taken. He can actually play top if you want to, but I doubt that. I think Envy is going to play the Galio. So let's see what top laner gets picked up.
I would think they would go for another tank, maybe, but then they would lack in much of damage. Like I don't know if it's gonna be a protect the Jinx. If Jinx, spicing
Yeah.
it up.
Um, a Riven pick?
Okay,
Oh no! Boo!
it.
Boo!
I would have been like, yeah, pick Riven. It would have been more interesting that way.
Yeah.
But
Now think about it. You get hooked by Riven, but bam! Then you get a multi-man stun. You just have a death.
yeah, it's just like it's just.
It would have been fun to see, but
Oh, we
uh,
forgot that the Akali was open.
that gives away the Akali. But you still have a Galio in your team who is known to be pretty good against mages and AP abilities. But Akali is going to be facing up against the Olaf, so Olaf might not have a very good time battling this
Mm.
Akali.
Yeah, he basically needs. I don't know how he works against assassins or mages, but he is very good into brawlers or juggernauts because he can just hammer away, keep life stealing out of them, and prolong the fight. Right? Akali is more like in and out, and you're
Yeah,
bursted
you
down.
can't you can't really keep hitting the Akali because Akali is just going to shroud and dash around. So maybe the plan is to just, survive the lane phase so that you can have that impact in the team fight. But if that
Mm-hmm.
was the plan, maybe a tank would have been a good idea and give a carry champion over to Envy. They're more seasoned carry, they're more like the captain sort of figure. He's sort of the face of their team most of the times. So it's gonna be an
Yes.
interesting game to see how this Olaf fares into the Akali week. Also can't forget that there's a Nocturne jungle. So let's see how that goes on into the Maokai.
They have
And
to keep track of level 6 and the
yeah, level
ultimates being
6
thrown down.
all the time. And I like the Galio pickup for Envy with the Pantheon band. Envy, either he's gonna play a hard carry, something like a Zoe or
Mm-hmm.
an Akali, or he's gonna play something like Pantheon Galio so that he can affect the rest of the map. So good pickup there. They do have the Akali and Lissandra, so it's gonna be something that he can protect his carry with if they're getting dived. So he can just ultimate to give them that shield and that huge AOE knock-up peel that Galio provides.
I do like once again the comp of PNX Ascension. I do like the bot lane and even the jungle draft that Phoenix have done here, but I'm not really sure about the Olaf and the Galio pick. It doesn't seem like it fit in here. Maybe a Galio when you had a Jarvan, but Maoka and
Perhaps,
Galio, I don't know how that's gonna work.
perhaps the draft I think is in favor of PNX Ascension. Uh, Ace Phoenix have a lot to get right in this matchup. Like they have to play their champions well, have to play the map well to get make sure they have a lead. Or on the other side, PNX have like the draft just wins by itself if Phoenix makes a mistake. So I would give the draft edge to PNX certainly, but if you can let us know what you think of the draft in the comments section, make sure to tell us which side you wish to see win, and make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share so that everyone can enjoy this grand finals that we're having.
Yeah, and it's match point as well. It's gonna be a nail biting experience, at least in the side of Ace Phoenix. They've gotta be sweating a little bit on their seats. Let's just not, and especially with Akali, right? It can go either way. Just their priority would be to just not give any early kills to this Akali. Absolutely not enable her to get away with the game like it was in the semi-final game one. So I'm hoping Olaf. I don't know. Olaf is generally not someone who plays very passively. Like I love playing Olaf rather aggressively. Even when playing on top lane, you all constantly have to trade your health so that you can, lifesteal from the minions. And Akali, I don't know if she's going to go in for the build of proto belt, or they go for the other one, right, which has a little bit of life steal in the build.
Yeah, Riftmaker. They do go for Riftmaker now and then in the top side, but I don't
Mm-hmm.
think Hydra's a player that's gonna go Riftmaker. He's gonna go for the one shot to make sure he can delete that Jinx. Because the main damage for Ace Phoenix is just the Jinx. No one else is actually like a carry damage dealer. Not in the late game, anyways.
Yeah, and Jinx, the positioning of Invoker has to be impeccable. Like, he cannot even take a breath. It's a Lissandra who's gonna come and try to ult you or just jump at you. It's a Nocturne, and
Um,
you know how you, as soon as you hear the word darkness,
The Braum has to be ready to try and peel for his carry as well as the Galio. Envy has to be ready as well. Akali's gonna be jumping in. You know all the hooks are gonna be tried to be aimed at the Jinx and no one else. So let's see how they manage to get this done.
and as soon as
And
we get into game, we do have a pause
so we
going on.
just we probably just have to wait for the pause. Some sort of technical issue might be going on with the players.
Let me just switch over to the game so that you guys can also.
Oh,
So
there we
yeah,
go. The pause gets unpaused as we are getting into game. I expect the Blitzcrank to go for an invade actually.
yeah, it's the
Uh,
it's the classic Blitzcrank.
yeah,
I think my observer is a bit bugged. Let me just go back. Oh my god, Riot, what have you done?
yeah. Whenever there's a pause, the client,
It
spectator client,
just, yeah, it just bugs out so much. Yep.
and there we go. So let's see if the Blitzcrank goes for the invade. Once again, Ace Phoenix all running towards that bot lane tri-brush. As per usual for their games, they all pile on to that
They love
tri-brush.
this brush. They just
Yeah,
absolutely
yeah.
love this.
Especially in the early game, that level 1.
Uh,
Maokai is standing a bit to the side. Maybe they're
expecting a
expecting a
hook?
yeah. Nothing really coming through. I think the top laners are just gonna back away now.
I think, at least from the side of PNX, they do not really want to get their heart rates pumping right at the beginning. They've already secured a win and it's already match point. Probably they're like, just play it safe, guys. Just farm it up, get some items on your Akali. It's a Jinx. And I love that the Jinx has cleanse. Let's talk about this.
Yeah, he has
It's
the cleanse. It's gonna be super useful this match.
Yes, definitely. And it's always like, one of the times when I look at an ADC with just Ghost or a Heat or whatever, I just don't feel that good. And especially against a Nocturne and even a Blitzcrank early levels, right? It's crucial that you have that one skill to just negate that crucial CC that comes on you.
Yeah, and it's something that can be instant because it's in your control. Your support doesn't have to react to it. You can react to it yourself to make sure you get out of the situation as soon as possible or whenever you want. But that also means he doesn't have a combat summoner, so it's gonna be hard for him. In the early levels, Olaf
It's
probably
quite
just wins out into
strong.
Akali because he can just chase after the Akali like that. Akali needs a level 2 or 3 to like actually start trading back more efficiently. Same case for mid lane. Lissandra needs a few levels before she can really do anything to the Galio, and even so, Galio is really good into this sort of like control burst mages because he has
His whole lore is against magic. So.
yeah, and he gets that AP shield as well, so
Yeah.
he's fine.
I
So
am
he envies running Predator on Galio, so that's an interesting summoner. The Braum gets hooked, but he's fine. He just holds up his door, nothing really happens.
a Predator Galio. So I'm hoping early level gangs towards. I don't know, topside always seems very volatile, especially when PNX plays. It's like there's a kill threat always there, regardless of what kind of. Oh,
And we actually going very aggressive. The Maokai is here, but I think it's just a little bit late. Yeah, he can't just close the distance. He could have flashed, but he's gonna go under the tower if he does, and this is way too
that would
early
have
to
been
be diving.
a disaster.
So with the Predator, you want to farm for your boots as soon as possible. Get the boot so that your keystone actually becomes usable. So you can roam top, roam bots, and you have your ultimate as well to get into place as soon as possible.
And
Olaf
look at
is
that.
actually doing a pretty good job into the Akali.
Yeah, I would love Akali for Akali to pick up one of the lifesteal items just so she can match up to the Olaf, because Olaf is all about sustained damage. He doesn't really do well Doesn't really do that much of a burst damage.
Yeah, he has a
Uh,
little bit of burst if he can combo his skill set properly, but that's not
Not
what he's
against an
known for.
Akali, I don't think
Yeah,
so.
yeah, that's not what he's known for. And the other thing is, Olaf had to back because he spent all that mana pushing in the Akali and trading properly. While Akali, being an energy-based champion, can just stay in lane as long as she is healthy. We see now, though, that PNX is invading slightly. There's Lissandra inside, sitting in that red buffs bush. He puts down a ward, goes back to lane. I
He's
don't know
just
if
hoping that there's a wild tree that walks right into the jungle so they can just cut it down. But Maokai, lucky for him, he's on the other side of the jungle and he's farming quite safely for now.
oh,
And
that.
but he's a little bit behind on the farm as well.
Yeah, no, he can't match up to Nocturne clear speed at all. Nocturne has one of the fastest clears in the game, so this is expected. On the other side, though, if you look at the min-map, look at how much deep vision PNX has into Ace Phoenix's jungle on the bot side. The entire pathway is lit up now. They know exactly where Maokai is and where he's backing, and Maokai does not have sweeper or control wards, and he's completely unaware that his position has been given away. NV trading pretty aggressively, it gets a good chunk off. Oh, the hook misses there.
It's just his Tastic is probably trying to get in, and this is exactly what you don't want. Just going in the shroud, getting some auto attacks. Now you can't lifesteal against the Akali, so you just have to end up hitting the minions. But they're
But
pretty close to level 6, so maybe something might go down on top side.
having said that, I'm pleasantly surprised and impressed at how much the Olaf actually played out the lane phase. I expected him to get much more harassed, but there's a lot of the game left, so let's see how that goes.
Slowly it's
Oh,
being built up
level
in.
6, level 6.
Oh
I
no.
think he has to run. Akali goes in, but Olaf, the lower he gets, the deadlier he gets, but he has to flash as well. He manages to survive it because he's not 6, he's not comfortable diving that, and Akali gets such a big chunk off, and like you said, Olaf can't just keep hitting her to lifesteal.
But she has to be outside of her shroud. But good
Oh,
thing that they are stacking early drakes right now. But it's a
but it's
very
gonna
bad
be a
rate.
fight. It's gonna be a fight. There's the Gallion coming through to save the Brom, and he enters into the fight.
I do
Phoenix
not
has
like
to back
this.
away for now. Envy into the backline lands a huge taunt to make sure his team can secure the dragon, but the Jinx falls and everyone else just flashes out on the other side of the Drake pit. So it's one for the Drake, and it is a Jinx skill, but I think both teams will be quite happy.
They would be. I think the loser here is probably Invoker. He probably will miss out a little bit on the farm.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
good for him. He's not dead for long, and he would be right in time to catch up at least like 3 or 4 minions out of this entire bunch of minions.
Yeah, it's not the best for your AD carry to die there, but they did secure an early Drake, so
Yeah, and it's very important, right? Because we have been talking about how good of a Drake control that PNX always have. They always tend to take the first two Drakes seemingly for free, just
yeah,
because of their vision advantage.
so that's a very proactive step from Ace Phoenix there, and I think that, like I said, both teams will be like pretty okay with the trade that happened.
But unfortunately, Jinx did had to use her cleanse.
Yeah, Jinx had to use cleanse, and a lot of people had to flash to get out of that Drake pit. Olaf getting engaged on. He is willing to take the fight into this Akali in the close range. There we go. Ultimate goes down, but Nocturne is here and he just gets absolutely executed. He can't keep hitting if the lights go out like that, and that's a very good gank and a very good timing as well. If you look at the wave where it is, Akali can just push this in and then back away.
Probably even get a plating, I don't know. He might. Nah, Olaf is already back. It's just too little of a death timer this point in the game. But look at the mid lane. Galio has been slowly building up this control. He has this zone. He always gets down the first push. He might not have been able to roam up top, but maybe, one of these times he could time his ultimate a little bit before the Nocturne's ultimate, and he could bail out his top laner. Not only bail out, probably get a couple of kills in the process as well. It could be quite dangerous.
Yeah, but what's important is when Nocturne, if Galio is late and Nocturne ults, he can't actually see his teammates to ult them properly. So that's gonna be something Envy has to take proactive steps. He can't just react to the Nocturne ult, well, because that's impossible. On the other side, we see Ace Phoenix actually start up this Herald. They're being very proactive on the objectives this time. Four people roamed up. The Braum
But
actually came
look
to
at
the
how
Herald.
the PNX are positioning. They're trying to contest for this. If the Nocturne had an ultimate, maybe there was a play to be made here. But Nisandra tries to go in.
Yeah, they're gonna see what they can do, but they get the Herald. Herald has been picked up by Phoenix. They're gonna try to get out with as little casualties as possible, but it looks like they're getting absolutely destroyed in this fight. They just don't have the damage yet. And all of them get taken down except the Jinx, who did not roam up and is farming by herself. That was the problem with the Phoenix comp. I felt like they did not have damage besides the Jinx, and this is what happens. The PNX's entire team roamed up into this Herald to contest, and they just get absolutely destroyed, Ace Phoenix.
Yes, and look at that. We were saying don't give any kills to Akali, and she's already 3 kills up. Has a 300k bounty on her. Sorry, 300 gold bounty on her. It's just
Maokai is walking into his death here. There's three people. Phoenix is also here, but there's no damage. They can't really fight this. Akali, no fear, goes into the shroud, not gonna get stunned, and just walks away. And Maokai is set behind so much because he dies, comes back, and dies immediately. And Nocturne is gonna be able to pick up these jungle camps. Oh no, he gets it. Braum
wow.
tries a little cheeky little steal there. Doesn't really work out.
Even though Origa has been doing a great job trying to keep up with the Akali Ori levels, it just took one team fight to just blow this open. Akali is now super fed. On top of it, she has a red buff. It's just gonna be poke central here at top lane.
Yeah, Hydra seems to always manage to find these like leads. Even if the lane is just even, he's 4-0. The lane went very well for the Olaf. I was actually praising him, but now look, Hydra is such a player, he can find these like leads from anywhere.
Yes, you can't just sleep on him always. There's just like it feels like he has a little bit of a vast champion pool as well. You ban his Jax, he always has another pick to go back to. You ban his Akali, there's his Jax, and Camille also, the respect ban, I believe, coming in. So you
Yes,
just have to.
and it's not like you can just expend 5 bans on him, right? So what about the mid lane? What about AD carries?
Exactly.
He's a very big linchpin for his team, and again, Ace Phoenix is trying to be proactive on these objectives, but I don't think this is a good idea. They're not. Oh my god, look at that! Flash W gets all three. Jinx is trying to run away, but there's a Nocturne on her, and not enough peel comes through, and this is again, he fails the flash as well, Broken Blade, and they get taken out. Ace Phoenix just seem to have no idea how to fight around PNX's rotation and champ pool. They're getting destroyed once more.
And they did not expect the Akali to be collapsing down there as well. I was sure that they thought it was only gonna be, bot lane and mid lane to contest with, but Akali, right? She backed. Her back timing was impeccable. She backed off right in time to support for the dragon take, and which netted them again a couple of kills. So it's turning slowly into an insurmountable lead. Look at the gold lead right there, 17.2k to 23.3k, almost uh,
Yep,
like
it's
4
getting
5k at this point. How are
it's
you going to bring
getting
this back?
it's getting out of control, and that Lissandra play where he just flashed into three people to land that three-man route to ensure that the fight goes off in their favor. The only way Ace Phoenix can come back is if the Jinx can get to some items and the game goes long enough for that to happen. But it's not looking like it. But let's see what they do. They're gonna use the Herald to get a few platings, but Envy is under attack. I think he's going to fall here. He gets hooked back. Yup, he dies. Akali is diving the Maokai, and Maokai falls as well. It just seems like Ace Phoenix, every step, every move they make is being read by PNX and countered twice, thrice fold even.
Wow, the amount of map awareness Hydra has is just amazing to watch. He was being pushed out from top lane, but he still left his lane and then Okay, hold up.
Nocturne going after the Braum. This should be an easy pickup. Zeri is also here. Yeah, Braum falls. Is just going from bad to worse for Ace Phoenix. The game is completely out of control now. They need to somehow stop this. Make sure the game goes slow. And to get the Jinx the items she needs, but it's Jinx is getting dove now. Ace Phoenix is
I
losing
see people
control of this
collapsing.
game very, very fast. Galio tries to ult to make sure he can get there. Keeps the Jinx alive for some time, but there's the Blitzcrank ult. Jinx falls. They're trying to get a kill back onto the Jinx. Manages to do it. Nocturne is gonna walk away. Nothing that the Galio can do there. Galio is just gonna try to clear out this wave. Yep. Nocturne thinking of something, but no. Walks away. This game is not looking good for Ace Phoenix at all.
It's just uh, seems like it was even, and then they just lost control of the map entirely and gave a little bit too many kills for the Nocturne and the Akali. And even the Zeri is being fed off their backs. I think Olaf can hold his own. Oh no, he can't.
I don't think so, and it's not looking great. They need to make sure. I don't know what Ace Phoenix can do to make sure this snowball stops. Every play that they make or every fight that they try to take. Oh, that sounded like a song, right?
Exactly.
Every move you make, I'll be missing you.
In the end, it
But
doesn't even matter, I guess.
yeah, Envy actually goes pretty aggressive. You can see Envy has damage. He has the Night Harvester build, so he's gonna be doing some damage. But Lissandra also goes back in, but I don't know if this is the play, but never mind. Nocturne Ultimate is here. Envy's gonna fall now. It was a bait all along. And like I said, every move Ace Phoenix makes, it just seems like PNX are prepared for it and counters with like a heavy blow every single time.
Yeah, they just are not looking at I think they're a little bit frustrated at this point, just trying to get a solo kill, thinking that you are. Oh, wait a minute.
Akali going on the Olaf, it gets absolutely executed the Olaf. There's desperation now for Ace Phoenix to try and stop this bleeding, but it's the snowball is being further and further pushed forward by PNX, and you can see they're losing control of the map. None of the lanes are safe. The jungle is completely in the control of PNX. I think this is
We
going
do
to a
have a pause.
yeah, this is getting to a point where I don't know how Ace can come back.
Yeah, it's just seems like they had a lot of thought coming in, but the execution just failed to happen. And Jinx is not even completed one full item. And look at Zeri; she's already built her immortal shield bow. She has, en route to the second item as well. And on top of that, you have just so many other obstacles that you'll have to go through to get to this Zeri. It's just, I don't know. Like, and even Olaf's first item, he just wanted to go for a wave clear item while he could have probably built a Sterax and probably mitigated a little bit of Akali's burst, maybe?
Yeah, it is getting to a point where Ace Phoenix are running out of options now. The best
Exactly.
they can do is turtle to um
Try to get
try
the
and
Jinx ahead, maybe
yeah,
a couple
not
of
ahead,
hits.
like a couple of items on her
Mhm.
because right now they cannot be taking the fights that they're taking.
But it
Uh,
is also, it's not in their hands. Like, you least expect Nocturne to turn up in some place and he's already there. I think they're just uh, like hoping that they might get a kill or two here, but it is always not a 1v1. They should remember that the Nocturne can join in at any time he wants.
yeah, let's see what they can do.
Uh, and we are already 16 minutes in. They've lost only one Drake, so they can't. I think they should stop contesting for the next two Drakes at least. So,
Yeah, there's the game is completely out of Ace Phoenix's hand, in my opinion. They just need to try and see if they can capitalize on some of the mistakes. Maybe PNX gets too cocky and makes some mistakes, over chases, or gets greedy or something like that. That's the best they can hope for.
yeah. And the Maokai pick also not really helping them out.
Yeah, Maokai got nerfed in the jungle and it lost a lot of popularity in the pro play and the higher tiers of play. But
Mhm.
perhaps it's a more comfort thing that Broken Blade is comfortable playing, but it's not really working out because he can't match that Nocturne clear or the Nocturne ultimate. And Nocturne just seems to be everywhere and making a huge impact with his ult. He also already has Stridebreaker completed, so if he gets on top of you, he's gonna make sure that he sticks to you, lands the Stridebreaker slow, gets the fear off, and it's gonna be really difficult.
Yeah, and look at the top lane. Even though Olaf was able to catch up a little bit on the CS, and it was completely blown open with the 2 kills earlier on given into the Akali. It's now a 2k gold lead, and that's gonna hurt a lot. And in the jungle, almost 4k. Sorry, almost 3k. And
Yeah,
then even the AD carry is 2k behind. How do you come up from this?
this is like I said, it's not up to them now. It's up to PNX to make mistakes for Ace to come back. Let's see.
But I think they're playing a very thought out game. I don't think PNX is a team to even make any mistakes. They are communicating very well, and the map movement from Hydra has been on point. He's always been in those fights where you least expect him to be. Then that's probably getting Ace Phoenix a little bit off guard. And the flanks from him has been absolutely on point, and we are back in the game.
Yeah, let's see what happens now. Ace just has to kind of be mentally strong to not collapse and make these desperation plays, slow down as much as they can, give up the objectives, not contest. But it's gonna be very difficult for them.
Spectator bug. And there again, once again, he probably got killed. Nothing new.
So yeah, the game continues again, and Ace is just trying to hold it together now. It's collapsing around them.
Yeah, and Jinx has to get her items in. I don't know. Does she have enough to get even the first item?
I'm not
Apparently,
sure.
from this back, she might.
And yeah, it's just not looking great.
It is just an absolute disaster. Like, how do you even play against a Lissandra? It's gonna come at you, and Nocturne is gonna come at you. It's gonna be extremely difficult. And on top of it, with the darkness, I don't know how even your ROM is gonna peel for you. And like you said, it completely mitigates the Galio's ultimate. I think they have to make proactive plays as a team. More often than not, they are trying to get a 1v1 in and just getting caught off guard by being collapsed on by the side of P and X. So they should just like group up as a team and plan their encounters.
Even when they did try to do those in the Drake and the Herald, it just seemed like PNX was just ready for it. And there, like before, like was had better rotations, more members out on the map. Envy now sitting in mid lane. I think he's gonna die. Don't think he can get away from this. Blitzcrank body blocking to ensure he can't dash away, and there we go, he falls. But on the top side, Maokai is trying something.
Pushing and
This
doing, but
Lissandra.
it's a Lissandra. She is just.
He gets the root of though. Olaf is
Oh
ulting
no,
to try and
she.
chase him down. He has the Zonja. Olaf has to get away from the tower, but now PNX is gonna collapse on them, and this is absolutely disastrous once more. This is exactly what I was talking about. Phoenix goes for a play, but PNX is always ready for it. And I don't know if chasing after Lissandra with all your buttons and ultimates was the best idea.
Yeah, and he even knocked her away from them. I thought he will flash behind and knock her forward, but I guess a little bit of nerves, maybe.
Maybe, or he was just maybe just hoping the slow is enough for his ultimate roots to catch up, which it was. But Lissandra also had a stopwatch, Lissandra had ultimate, flash, there was no way they were going to catch up, and there's just a lot of wasted resources, and as Ace Phoenix, you can't really do that in this game anymore. They are almost 10k behind now, and It's just up to Ace PNX to just close this game out. There's nothing they can Ace Phoenix can realistically do to like get back into the game themselves.
Yeah. Sadly for them, it's just a best of three. At least if they had a best of five, they could probably have some time to regroup and think about their drafts. But
Yeah, and we saw Radiance throw a game. Maybe they'll be hoping that PNX make mistake.
yeah, some grave
Yeah.
mistake can be made even by the best of the teams.
No shade to Radiance, obviously. They are a very good team. Mistakes happen to all of us. Um, we saw today like T1 versus Genji match. T1 played very suboptimal. Genji managed to pick up the championship. So back-to-back titles for them, and I'm excited for MSI.
Yeah, pretty strong teams. I don't know about the European League, but at least the China and okay, Nocturne just randomly walks in
Face
and
checks
casually walks
the
out.
face checks the Galio. Galio decides, you know what? I don't want any part of this. Lets him walk
Yeah,
out. Doesn't they can't really fight right now. Not even numbers. They will need to like 3v1 or 4v1 someone.
I think the right lane placements would have probably been putting the Galio against the Akali and maybe the Olaf against the Lissandra. Maybe would
I
have
don't know.
helped the
The
Olaf.
Olaf pick seemed off to me. They're trying to collapse on the Akali here, but she has Shroud, so she's gonna buy a lot of space for herself and just walks away.
And
Like,
Baron's being started up.
yeah, so I think Ace Phoenix should have gone harder for the Akali kill, rotated everyone over, because there's no way that they're contesting this. This has to be given over.
It's just an absolutely free Baron.
Yeah, this is a point of Ace Phoenix's gameplay that I would like to point out as a slight improvement they can do is when an objective is going down for sure, they're not making cross map plays, perhaps not seeing the opportunities that need to be created for cross map, but they're giving away objectives for free a lot of the time. So
It's
perhaps
just
that's something that they can look into as obviously every team can improve and every team can come back.
yeah. Let's just hope they have enough items on the Jinx to make this a possible
Yeah, the
win on
game
their side.
has slowed down a bit, where that's what they want, but they need this to keep going, and Jinx needs to keep farming because she's pretty much the sole DPS threat. Galio went for Night Harvester, so he's going for the more burst-oriented build, and every
Fearless,
time Blitzcrank walks
fearless.
up, right? Envy actually wants to start a fight here. They actually get the Blitzcrank back. This might be a catch. And it is, and it's the best person to get the kill to. They are making a comeback here. 2 shutdowns now. I think this is enough for Ace Phoenix, but the Nocturne comes back in. And now it's enough for PNX to kind of get back into this match. Everything being thrown. Galio trying to ult to save his team, but not enough. And then PNX just absolutely aces them and wipes them off the Summoner's Rift.
Wow, it was looking really good for the side of Ace Phoenix until the Akali was involved in the fight, and then it was all
Again,
lights out.
I don't know why they overchased so much. They got 2 shutdowns. At this point in the game, 2 shutdowns means that that is a huge victory for you guys, and it went to the Jinx, one of the kills. So that's really good. I don't know why they decided to keep chasing, and the fight just once the Akali and Nocturne joined, it was just over.
But they make the wise choice to back away and not make any overstay happen. They just took the inhibitor and back away. What is this weirdly teleport? Oh no.
Not sure. I
Damn,
think
that was an amazing hook.
Envy's just desperate now, trying to look for plays where he can. Just, like it doesn't matter anymore, right? Like if you die, the game is so far gone. If you can get a pick somewhere, great. If you can't, then oh well. Yeah, Jinx is
Oh
gonna
no.
be collapsed on. That's unfortunate. Maokai goes in too early. Didn't really have the vision. Went in for a steal, and he just gets picked up. Ace Phoenix members are falling. Reft. Wow, I can't even.
Left, right,
do it.
and center. I mean, that's what you said.
Yeah, left, right, and center. It's nothing they can do. They're absolutely getting run over now. I think this is GG. Yeah.
So it's not even a 25-minute game. It's gonna be 24 minutes by the time they hit the Nexus, I guess.
This game looked so much better than the first game in the early stages, but the mid-game fights just did not go into their favor. They tried to hard contest these objectives this time, But they didn't have the damage except the Jinx, and the Jinx never rotated for the fights. And yeah, that's pretty much game. Galio tries one last time with his Jinx to make something happen, but the Nexus falls and PNX Ascension wins the series 2-0. If this is a best of three, correct, Hikari?
Yes, this is, and they do take home the trophy for the Summoners Cup.
Yeah, SFG Summer Cup, and Phoenix Ascension absolutely destroy Ace Phoenix in this game, takes it to the 2-0 victory, and it did not even look like Phoenix was in a position to contest these fights, and both games were pretty much sub 30 minutes all the way. It was PNX Ascension who were in the lead.
Yes, most definitely. It was a little bit. I mean, I don't know what was going through the mind of Ace Phoenix to pick up the Galio, and especially when you have just one DPS in your team, I don't think the Galio was a very good option. And you went for a Maokai jungle and then you picked the Galio. That was very probably not the ideal choice. Maybe a Jarvan Galio, as I said, would have been even better. They failed to make a lot of proactive plays as a team. They did try something individually, but it did not work out. And always try like this man Hydra, he reads his opponents. I think he has this uh the presence that's being needed from him. He knows where he should be at what time. That's probably the highlight of
Yeah,
today's match. Yeah.
Hydra just was unstoppable in today's game. In every single pick that he got, in every situation, he managed to get the leads and make sure that his team was in a great position to contest all the objectives. And props to Phoenix Ascension as a whole. Anytime a fight broke out, they were in position to make sure that they had the members' advantage, that they had the better rotations. But props to Ace Phoenix for making it this far and trying to put up the best fight that they could in this grand finals. And I'm sure that they have learned a lot from this series and they can improve themselves to come back stronger next time. And making the finals is not a small feat. We're talking as if that this is something wrong, but making the final is obviously a very big achievement for any team. And congratulations to them for fighting so hard till the end to make sure that they can make their team and organization proud.
Exactly. And we will probably catch up you guys with another tournament pretty soon. And we expect to see a lot of the teams showing up stronger in the next one as well, and taking a lot of lessons learned from these tournaments.
And thank you guys for joining in on us in this stream. Thank you, Hikari, for making the stream and observing so much fun and easy for me. I hope you guys enjoyed the games, and it was PNX Ascension who never had and looked like they were in any doubt of winning. They seemed to be in control pretty much throughout. And I think that's it from us.
Yeah, and make sure to like and follow us on all of our social medias so that you can stay updated for the upcoming tournaments as well.
And please ensure that we stay respectful to each other, especially in the chats and everywhere else. This is obviously a community tournament for all of us, and we are in this community, the South Asian community as a whole. We are not a big community, the League of Legends one. And it's imperative that we have more tournaments like this. And thank you to SMG for organizing this and keeping the community alive and this rivalry alive.
Exactly. And we are more excited to see what we have in store for the future. And that's it from me, Hikari, and Insik. Bye bye.
Take it to the next level. Take it to the next level. Take it to the next level. Take it to the